Weather for Weather Geeks is back here on this Tuesday, first day of September 2015. I had a 4-day weekend, so I've been away a little bit. Didn't miss much in the weather department over the last few days. It's been a pretty benign pattern, and it's going to stay that way for the next 6-7 days. And by benign, we mean, kind of a lack of storms, not too many big stories other than the heat. I'm going to start out this evening on this video and just talk about the longer range for just a second. On my weather blog, ericwfmj.com, redesigned weather blog. I think it looks a lot cleaner and things are easier to find. You'll find a summer review on here, looking back at all the statistics for meteorological summer, June, July, and August, and also a fall forecast, and that covers, of course, the meteorological fall months of September, October, and November as well. So lots of interesting charts and graphs and statistics on here. I encourage you to check that out if you want to take a look at the fall forecast. As far as the September forecast, just for the month of September, here's what we have. Looks like September is going to be a warmer than average month. Now, this may be especially weighted towards the beginning of the month, and I'll show you the longer range trends in just a second. But nonetheless, when it all shakes out at the end of the month, this month should go into the record books as a warm September for our region. As far as precipitation goes, not a real strong signal here for the month of September. It'll probably be in the ballpark of average for September, and average is about 3.4, 3.5 inches worth of rain. Probably a little drier than average northeast and a little wetter than average in parts of the southwest and the plain states. Again, a little bit more in the long range here in just a second. Back to what's in front of us over the next few days. First of all, this evening, real quickly, we had some storms south of Cleveland earlier. Those have really died, but this little cell here over in Portage County at about 7:10 this evening is just sort of drifting around, and I'll have to keep an eye on this. It may very slightly clip the far western part of our viewing area. The storms partially being caused by what we call an upper-level disturbance, an area of spin, if you will, in the upper levels of the atmosphere. What we're looking at here is what we call the 500 millibar chart. 500 millibars is a pressure level that's usually up at about 18,000 feet, so not as high as the airplanes fly, but roughly half of the air pressure in the atmosphere is below that level, roughly half is above. And we looked at this level a lot to find spin. Spin in the atmosphere often leads to unsettled weather. Anyway, as you can see, there's a disturbance out here with this colored area across the Ohio-Indiana border. Now, as we go into tonight and tomorrow, we'll watch this go into motion here, and this will push south of us. So by the middle of the night tonight, that disturbance is moving through the southern half of Ohio, and by tomorrow morning, it'll be pushing down into parts of West Virginia and weakening as it does so. But nonetheless, this is what is responsible for the real scattered shower and thunderstorm activity that we found across parts of Ohio and Indiana this evening. Now, as we get into the day tomorrow, and as this passes to our south, maybe just close enough that we might have to be a little bit concerned about a stray, and I mean stray, shower or thunderstorm here locally tomorrow. I'm going to show you the NAM model here for midday tomorrow. Notice not a whole lot being shown on the NAM here at midday as we get into the mid and late afternoon. Now, there's some specks of green here, real widely scattered stuff tomorrow, much like today. We've got a 20% chance in our forecast, so if you're heading to the Canfield Fair tomorrow or doing anything that involves the outdoors, certainly go ahead. Just plan on a hot day, of course. Temperatures tomorrow will be off to the races tomorrow afternoon. Let's see here, 85, 86 degrees. This is by late afternoon, so the highs will probably be a few degrees above that. So 87-ish for a high temperature tomorrow. Rest of our forecast is pretty ho-hum. You can check out the 7-day forecast tonight on 21 News at 11. I'll put it on social media as well. Lots of days coming up, just like tomorrow, with high temperatures between 85 and 90. Very, very small chances for thunderstorms, and it's just going to be a really, really hot Canfield Fair. Come see us in the WFMJ tent. Bob and Leslie and I will be there Saturday from 9 to 1. And then Sunday, Dana will be there on Sunday as well. We'll be there from 1 to 5. So look forward to meeting a lot of you at the fair this year. Be sure and check out, all the giveaways and things like that in the tent starting tomorrow. But we'll be there in the tent to say hi and do a meet and greet with you Saturday and Sunday. All right, what about the longer range? All right, again, looking at the 500 millibar level here, the reason why it's going to be so hot over the next several days, big ridge of high pressure centered here, poking up into Canada, so you've got all these anomalously warm temperatures in the eastern two-thirds of the country, while the west is cooling down and turning unsettled. Good news for them. They really need the rain, of course, out west. So that's the general pattern through Labor Day. Now, as we get into next week, and a lot of us head back to work and school by Tuesday, notice that ridge has been squashed some by Tuesday. As this disturbance, this area of low pressure, moves across the U.S.-Canadian border, it will have a push of cooler air with it, and maybe some showers and storms as well. That'll be on Tuesday, maybe into Tuesday night. Second half of next week, though, that cool pocket heads out into the Atlantic, and watch what happens by the following weekend. So here's Friday evening, the 11th. We've got another ridge across the southeast and northeastern U.S. Now, this does not look as hot as the current pattern, but this could promote some above-average temperatures again as we head towards the very last part of next week into the following weekend. So any cool down after Labor Day is going to be fairly brief. We might go below average briefly, but I think the cool down is mostly just kind of back to average, and then we'll pop back above average as we head towards next weekend. In the real longer range, here's the GFS ensemble then as we go into right in the middle of the month. Here's the 15th. We have a big ridge poking up along the west coast, and a lot of times when that happens, downstream there's a trough, and sure enough, there's a trough of low pressure shown here in southeastern Canada and the northeastern U.S. Doesn't look like a real chilly pattern for us, but this pattern screams to me in mid-September a lot of temperatures in the 70s for highs and comfortable nights as well. So that's kind of the trends as we go out through time on the GFS ensemble model here, taking us through mid-month. Here's the climate model, and I'll breeze through this real quickly. Next 10 days, warmer than average. Following 10 days, we start to see a little bit of a pattern change, and then the latest climate models here are suggesting that the end of September could be a little cooler than average. Not a real strong signal here, but certainly the best chance for warmer than average temperatures will be during the first half of September, leading to overall a warmer than average September for the Mahoning and Chenango valleys. That is tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. Again, check out my blog, ericwfmj.com, and the full 7-day forecast coming up tonight on 21 News at 11. Have a great night.